Rivals of Aether's fun. Rivals of Aether music is fun. Chiptune music is fun. Video games are fun. But you know what's not fun? The lack of preservation of video games and those who seek to destroy it. I think Nintendo is the one company, as much I was glazing them yesterday over their amazing first-party experiences in comparison to the rest of the field when it comes to Xbox and PlayStation, but they don't really care about player choice, or what's the word I'm looking for here? They hold their IPs to a very high standard. By that I mean, even if you've bought a product, a license for their IP rather, because I mean you're not really buying a product even if it's physical, you are buying a license to use said product because they can rip it away from you at any point. They still don't want you to use it in ways they deem not okay. What I mean by that is Nintendo is absolutely going out of their way to kill emulators. Now, it's modern emulators, so it's a little bit of a tricky situation. It's a little bit of a tough sell to say that they're outright trying to kill emulation. Because Dolphin is okay, and that is Nintendo GameCube emulation and Wii emulation. I don't think they've really had a problem with the Dolphin team ever, at least not a major one outside of Slippy when it comes to running tournaments, with Flippy using it as an offline medium instead of running tournaments on original hardware. Nintendo 64 emulation seems to be fine. They don't seem to go after some of the the Game Boy Advanced and Game Boy Color emulators. But Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS, and for some reason Nintendo Wii are being heavily targeted by Nintendo when it comes to the removal of emulators. Because now, if I hit this, boom, sick nasty transition button, we're on the second emulator that they've killed. This is an older one. This is March 4th, 2024. Yuzu is dead. Yo, how you doing? Thanks, Yuri. Yuzu is dead. Switch emulator abruptly settles lawsuit with Nintendo for $2.4 million in an enormous blow to console emulation. $2.4 million. That is so much money. Yuzu's creators have agreed to the destruction of all copies of Yuzu and to immediately cease development, which means that if you immediately cease development, there's not really a way would you continue emulating newer games after what was already ROM dumped, right? Everything that was ROM dumped before this date is safe if you have Yuzu and have a way to keep it on your computer. You have a local file and you don't have to deal with what other people tell you. You just make it work the way you want it to work. But now, nothing past this point will be on the Yuzu emulator. And if we move over, we can see that now we're on the second one. Ryujinx. The Switch emulator was supposedly immune. Nintendo has reportedly shut down. The main competitor Yuzu, previously shuttered by Nintendo, is now gone too. Nintendo may have just won its battle and put the most popular Nintendo Switch emulators out of business. In March, it sued Yuzu out of existence, and now it may have convinced Yuzu's competitor Ryujinx to go away. Ryujinx's download page on GitHub is gone, and its emulator's X social media, Twitter, and official Discord now contains a possible explanation. Nintendo got to its lead developer and convinced him to shut down the project for good. Yesterday, GDK Chen was contacted by Nintendo, offered an agreement to stop working on the project, remove the organization, and all assets he's in control of, while awaiting confirmation on whether he would take this agreement. The organization has been removed. So I think it's safe to say what the outcome is. Rather than leave you in panic and speculation, I decided to write this short message to give some closure. These are my own words. I do not speak for anyone else here. So just remember that while reading. Thank you to everyone who contributed code, documentation, or reported issues to the project. Thank you all for following us throughout the development. I was able to learn a lot of really neat things about games that I love. Enjoyed them and renewed qualities in unique circumstances. And I'm sure you all have experiences that are similarly special. Ryujinx was not sued, instead was given a probably some sort of ultimatum to wave a white flag. Will they wave the white flag and surrender, or will they be sued into oblivion the same way that their counterpart was, that their competitor was? I think that this is a dangerous precedent. Right, these are modern emulators, so I can kind of understand what Nintendo's doing. Right, they really maybe truly believe that having modern emulators is taking away from the console's current sales figures when it comes to games. But when you think about how the emulation front works, someone has to ROM dump these, and they come from somewhere. Generally, they come from a street copy. Okay, I think the ROM dumpers are really the issue over the actual distributor. Over the one who distributes the emulator that makes the games run. I think the ROM dumper is the real issue. Because if someone is dumping ROMs that they paid for onto the internet for everyone, we have an issue. But if someone is only using ROMs that they've acquired by legal means, then I don't think it should matter whether they emulate or not. Emulation is not pirating. Emulation is not technically illegal. It does break some forms of copyright and copy protection, right? We can all agree to that, but most of those things come down to the actual ROM dumping on the act of users, not the developers of Yuzu and Ryujinx. It's very unfortunate to see modern ways to enjoy games that otherwise are stuck on an antiquated console. I'm sorry, Nintendo Switch is antiquated. Okay, it's gonna be dead here soon. Okay, Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out very soon. Hopefully it'll have backwards compatibility. It's not the kind of situation you want to see for the future of video games. Right? They don't seem to be doing the same things to older video game consoles and trying to stifle or ruin video game preservation. It really looks like this only has anything to do with their newest console generation. And I say that because there was a YouTuber by the name of Retro Gamecore who had a video taken down. I don't remember what it was called, but it was taken down by Nintendo. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the product that he was showing off or the name of the video, because the video is now gone. But it was basically a ROM dumper or a ROM mover. You would plug in your Nintendo Switch cartridge to a device, and it would take the files and shoot them onto either another cartridge so that you could have multiple Nintendo Switch files on one cartridge. I can talk about this. Nintendo doesn't know I exist, and if they know I exist and they have a problem with it, I didn't make the product. Don't fight me. Fuck you. Go bother the people who made the product. Anyways, you either deliver those ROMs onto your computer or hard drive or SSD, SD card, or you move them over to another Nintendo Switch cartridge that's blank so that you can put multiple ROMs on the same cartridge as a form of backup. It's actually not supposed to be a tool for emulation or a tool of which, but it can be used because you're ripping real ROMs, which is the most legal way to emulate. So Nintendo should fuck right off. I'm quite honest, because if you have access to these games and you didn't pull them off the internet, you already paid for them. Kudos to you. I think you've done Nintendo a service by not pirating their games, and they should be cool with that, right? Anyone who has a reason to want to buy, I think it was called the Meg Dump, the Meg Switch, something like that. Mag Switch, Mag Dump. I think it was called Mag Switch before, but they couldn't keep it named that. It clearly has Nintendo Switch cartridges and would like to be able to back them up. Not being able to back up your cartridges in case of them being destroyed, them being corrupted, really feels as if you are actually, in that case, ruining video game preservation. And I don't stand with that. I'm a big fan of a lot of things that Nintendo does when it comes to their console front, when it comes to the games they make, when it comes to how they always offer a no-frills experience that is akin to childlike wonder every single time. They try to make banger after banger, hit after hit, amazing game, and they put out quality products. Nintendo Switch has had multiple revisions, all great revisions, even though some were better than others. And it seems that they're on top of the actual console market. If the Nintendo Switch 2 comes out, I could see it having boatloads of success, as long as they stop doing what they're doing now and scaring off consumers. I think, if you're asking me, Nintendo is shooting themselves in the foot by attempting to ruin or remove emulators. Because all you're doing is you're telling people who already kind of dislike your current generation of console or your current way of business that they should continue to do that, because you're showing them your hand. You're removing things that people want to use to enjoy your products in the way that otherwise they couldn't, right? Not everyone has a Nintendo Switch. Not everyone wants a Nintendo Switch. Some people have a Nintendo Switch but don't want to continue to use it because the quality of games is really low. So, like, when it comes to resolution and frame rate, not when it comes to the actual quality of the video games. Most of the time, games like Tears of the Kingdom, Echoes of Wisdom, or Echoes, is it called Echoes of Wisdom? Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the Pokemon games, under all of the bugs and frame rate issues and resolution, they're generally great products. But some people don't want to have to wait around for Nintendo to fix those great products or move them over to a console that can handle them. Instead, they'd rather just play them on their computer after already buying their game, which should be absolutely legal and shouldn't be a problem at all. Anyways, if you guys feel as if Nintendo is taking it too far when it comes to the disruption of the emulation market, leave it in the comment section down below. If you think Nintendo is well within their legal right, getting rid of things like the mag switch, the mag dump, the ROM dump, whatever it's called. Sorry, I can't remember the name of it. And emulators that are encroaching on their copyright. Leave that in the comment section down below as well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Tell me how you feel about this entire situation, if it's turning you off Nintendo or not. Or if you're going to be a diehard for the rest of your life. This has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTubes, talking about another dead emulator because of Nintendo.